How everybody doing? This is Chris Drummond from Progressive Action. I know it's late. I know if you midnight, you about to head out the house. If you AMs, early AMs, you should be going to sleep right now. If you evenings, you kind of PMs, you kind of winding down right now at work or at home. On your last trip, probably. And if you AMs, you good. Hey, sis, how you doing? But I want to talk real quick. I always say I ain't gonna be long. How you doing, sis? I ain't gonna be long. I absolutely ain't gonna be long. But I want to thank everybody for coming out yesterday. I thought it was a decent turnout, and I really appreciate everybody that showed up. This is just the beginning. So this is the beginning of the end for this corrupt union. And yesterday was just the first steps in going towards building a stronger, better, honest, fighting. What's going on, brother? Fight and stand-up union. And I made a video of the gathering yesterday, which is never going to see the light of day. The one where I'm in it, when I'm speaking. I had no idea when I was on stage talking that my gut was showing. I was looking at that video a couple hours ago, and it's crazy. Now, when you get heavy, right, and I got very heavy. When I go to the store to buy a T-shirt, I usually go like this. And if the T-shirt comes up, when I do like this, you can see my gut is too small. If it doesn't, I'm good. But sometimes when you're in between sizes like me, you're gonna get look like almost like you're buying a dress or something. The T-shirt fits you off. It fits you just right. When I tried on my T-shirt yesterday, hey sis, last week it fit. And it was really an extra large. I should have got a double extra. I should have got double X. But when you moving the way I'm moving, I even got a sep that I'm fat or big. Because there's big dudes that could dress. They crisp with it. And they look right. Their clothes fit them. They could dress. They just good dressing, fly, sharp, big guys. And they accept that you got the Biggie was a big guy. Pun was a big guy. You just have people that are big. Yeah, people saw my gut, sis. But you got people, but they look good big. Like Lizzie, if you go on the woman's side. How would she look if she was skinny? Some people look good big. But you got to accept that. Me, I knew I should have got a double XL. And I got extra large. And I either I'm gonna work out and get down. I used to be small. I'm self-conscious right now. This is what this conversation is about. Seeing my gut. Look like Tracy Morgan used to have a skit and his T-shirt was like this. You see his gut. But he's trying to be funny. I wasn't trying to be funny. So, what's that? Ozempia? My doctor gave me that last year, a year and a half ago. I didn't like it. I don't want to go out. This is me. I don't want to go out I want to work out. I won't lose it that way. I don't want to use the shit. I don't trust medicine like that. I don't like medicine. Like even with the eyes, the vision, I don't want nobody touching me like that. And everybody is working. A lot of y'all look good. Y'all going that route. Y'all look good. It just ain't for me. And Tremel and Nook and Jason and Ben, y'all should. I know maybe y'all didn't want to hurt my face. Y'all should say, damn, your gut was sure. Y'all should have told me. It's crazy seeing that, but that's that. And I want to talk about, too, there was somebody yesterday, nice woman, speaking about these horses, the horses and carriages. And Kwanzaa Red was there, too. That's nothing. One more thing. He walking in looking like a Greek god. No body fat, the pecs, the arms. He tries to motivate me. He got a Facebook page, trying to get everybody, I forget the name of the page, bro, I forgot, trying to get everybody motivated to work. And he was there. It's doubly embarrassing. Because, he's like, he's telling you what to work out, what weights to use and all that. So, I got to start following him again. But that's that on that. But there was someone talking about, at Sugar Hill, talking about the horse and carriages. The carriage drivers. I'm sorry. I always say horse and carriage, but the carriage drivers. And let me just say it again. I'm a lifelong New Yorker, like a lot of us are. I never thought that the drivers necessarily cared about the horses. I always thought it was kind of cruel. And I always imagined, like, how the hell that horse fell behind cars and you feel they smell the exhaust. In movies, horses are meant to be on farms. That's what they're meant to be. They're not meant to be in urban settings. Last year I remember with the woman, and I remember that image of seeing that horse. They water hose. The horse was heat exhausted, and the horse ultimately died. I didn't know the horse was that old. They getting cheap bastards, getting old horses. They getting old horses, and it's torture to me. I'm not a PETA guy. I'm not. My son I wasn't one of those people that went around kicking dogs either. People that like throwing rocks at them. I was never that type of person. I was kind of ambivalent when it came to animals and dogs. But my son got a dog named Denim, and I love him. I love petting him. I'm not, like I said, I've never been like that, but, I've been warming up over the years when it came to pets. I mean, and but horses, again, them horses should not be on the street. And my question is, what kind of coverage does these carriage drivers have? Medical coverage. Who is TW Local 100 fighting against and representing? Who's their bosses? We know we're fighting management. 2 Broadway. That's what headquarters is. Whatever grievances we have, we know who we have our grievances with. We know what we fighting for. We didn't get nothing this contract, but we know fair wages that can offset inflation. We didn't get that. Medical for our retirees, we didn't get a good medical, and we're gonna find that poor. Unfortunately, some of us think we're not gonna retire, and some of us went for the money. God, whatever's best for you. But my thing is, what protections is TW Local 100 offering them carriage drivers? Is there anything like certain days that they can't? What weather? Can it be too cold for the horses to go out? We know they're not going out in the snow. We know it's no weather that's too hot. I've seen them horses out in 90 degrees, blistering hot. I've seen them horses. And I felt sorry for them horses. But what kind of wages are they getting? In specific terms, what kind of representation is TW Local 100 offering them carriage drivers? Why are they in need of a union? What's their fight? So we need to know. They could be freestyling, because you got to understand that them carriage drivers, whatever, how many it is, 10, 20, 30, 50, that's more votes for them. They actually voting on our fate. There's 40,000+ of us, and every vote counts. So that's extra vote for them. I never understood why they took on the airlines, but I understand the airlines more than these carriage drivers. But again, this union freestyles. They do what they want. If there's ever a protest, I'm going. I'm for the horses. I wish whoever the carriage drivers, whoever they are, I wish them well. But my brothers and sisters are at Transit and TW Local 100. That's what and I don't know what's going on there. How are they advocating for the driver? Who are they fighting against? What are the wages of the game? What wages are they fighting for? What medical insurance do they have? What are you doing for them? And do they really have who are these? Are they private? Are these rich guys who just have dudes working for them? Are the union just taking money to offset politicians and activists who are against the treatment of these horses. Something don't smell right. It never smell right because the horses shouldn't be in New York. Well, when you go around there, that smell is nature, but the horses shouldn't even be there. So I think something going on there. And for those speaking politics, Tremel spoke to yesterday, for those who say that this is not politics, whenever you talked about the union, I'm not into politics. Hochul runs transit. Hochul hired, Governor Hochul hired Lieber. Lieber hires Davies. Davy and them have to toe the line for Hochul, as they did with Cuomo. So this whole thing is political. Where we fit in the budget, all this, whatever build, what they want to do with Penn Station, what they want to do with the Second Avenue line, how all this affects us, who they building the Second Avenue line for, not for us. They're not moving around for the working class anymore. That's a fact. Hochul controls 6 seats on that board. The mayor on the MTA board, who controls our fate, who votes on our fate, who decide things that affect our lives and affect our family lives. So Hochul has 6 members on the MTA board that she could appoint. The mayor has 4, and you tell me that Hochul can't sway the mayor? And there's also members who from the suburbs, upstate and Long Island. And if they need something, and if anything, that if Hochul need them to vote for something regarding the MTA and us, they're going to vote on this. So this is all political, and it affects our life. And then there's the union, who goes, remember, we was talking about the horse and cash drive, the horses. Remember how the union was getting at de Blasio? Now, I'm not a de Blasio fan, but it was puzzling to me. Why are you getting at de Blasio when you should be getting at the governor? De Blasio he had force. He ain't had no real sway in the city. Why was you getting at de Blasio? Didn't say nothing. The union didn't say nothing about Cuomo till that scandal hit Cuomo. Then they got brave and they turned on Cuomo. But before, and this is nothing politics. And I'm reading from something I wrote earlier. Why isn't the union getting on Hochul about what's her position on the migrant issue, and Adams on the migrant issue, and how it will affect us? How we're going to have, like I said last slide, we're going to have more mentally ill folks on our train. We're going to have migrants. The incoming migrants, I wish I knew a better term, who when we go to clean out our trains and our buses, we're going to have to approach more folks who have nowhere to live. Some of them folks are already fed up. A percentage of them already have been involved in some crime. It has nothing to do with migrant. Every population, black, white, Asian, every population has a percentage of criminals. You think no criminals came here? But who's going to have to deal with that? Who always deals with these social ills, homelessness, mentally ill? Who deals with that? We do. We're tasked and taking care of this. They're not doing it. Nobody in 2 Broadway's doing it. Nobody's 180. None of these board members are doing it. We have to suffer the consequence of these politicians' decisions. And we're the ones getting assaulted. We're the ones being cursed out. We're the ones that got to confront these folks, good or bad. We got to bring, when you're on the train, that's your house. When we tell them to get off them trains, they feel like that's their house. We the marshals and we evicting them. That's how they feel. And that's a position that these politicians put us in. Hochul never wanted to deal with the mental health issue. She never put adequate beds and housing for the mentally ill. The shelter system is a mess. Nobody wants to be in them shelters. The guards are molesting proposition and assaulting those people. Them shelters as bad as Rikers Island, or worse, some of them. So they'd rather come on our trains and deal with us. We're easier to deal with than them. They know they can get wrecked with us. A lot of us are scared to fight, to defend themselves, because we risk punishment. And you're trying to get frisky with the membership because they having trouble getting the folks out of, if it's the winter, forget, they're freezing. They know about the double ends and all that. They know how to move around this system. And they know nobody, I think nobody believes they get that. The funniest thing in this city is you get 7 years if you assault one of us. That's a joke. And nobody ever fought this union or these so-called politicians who we giving coat money to. Nobody's fought to put some teeth into that law. That's the problem. Maybe if folks read in the paper that someone got 7 years or somebody who had a record got 15 to 20 years for assaulting us, maybe they wouldn't assault us. But they know it's a joke. They know these politicians are a joke. These politicians who got these 29% raise and only gave us a putrid $4,000. So come on. When you say this ain't about politics, it is all about politics, because politics are adversely affecting our lives. And so you'll know. Everybody always said that Tremel was, yes, Tremel's a proud black man. Yes, he makes the correlation between what has historically went on with blacks in this country and what's going on in that trends right now. So although the N-word is a horrible word, and every ethnic group has a word that diminishes them. But let me tell y'all something. You're all the N-word to 2 Broadway. You're all, I don't care what color you are. We're all in the same boat down here. We got a bunch of people making decisions about us. And I'm not saying they all bigots. I am saying that they think that we are beneath them. I am saying that there's a class system. That a lot of those folks on the board, the millionaires, and Davy has 6 figures and the bodyguard, and I suspect the per diem, and they might be paying for wherever he's living. I suspect that all those people up there have no relations or no understanding about what we do and who we are. We're just working class modes to them. That's how they feel. The discipline speaks to that. How this company operates, this culture speaks to that. The funny thing is, Richie David thinks he's part of them. The funny thing is, the union think they in the same club. They tried to play like they that, but they work hand in hand now. The union has enough relations and understanding, especially in RTO and stations. And I'm talking about top 4 up there. I'm talking about our selected president, not our elected president. He wants to be one of those. He wants to hang around, in his mind, with them elites. And Lieber is part of the liberal elites. That's a fact. Hochul and all them. So understand how they feel about us. That they look at, and that's why Long Island Railroad, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, Long Island Railroad and Metro North, when I get on when I get on Long Island Railroad and Metro North, if I'm going upstate, I feel good. It's a different culture. You up there, they serving beer. I don't know if they still serve beer on the train. I don't know if they got a smoking car. I don't know. But it's different. The folks going to the suburbs, it's a different feel there. And it's as if the governor and the mayor saying, oh, no more alcohol? All right. The governor and mayor saying, you ain't messing with them. Not those folks. They're going to Croton Harmon. I hear Beacon, New York is gentrified. You got these folks, celebrities live up there. Same thing, a lot of in the island too. It's the island. But it's a whole different culture. There's obviously, yes, in the bathrooms. Yes, ain't no bathrooms there. There ain't no bathrooms there. Thanks since you can't smoke, but they'll bring you your drink. Yeah, but look at that. Go to Grand Central. Oh, come on, man. Come on. That new Long Island Railroad hub, you can either, I went in the bathrooms, you can eat off the floor in there. And what they doing, there's a part of Monahan, the Long Island Railroad. I know they fixing up Penn Station, but there's already the other part on the other side where the post office was. It's a whole new world there. They have no respect for us down there. Everything they do tells us, every move they make. And then they have the nerve. When something goes left, something scary. We got the Chronos because of what they was doing at the Long Island Railroad. System we had here worked for years. And we got to get Chronos. We didn't do nothing. We didn't do nothing. We can eat off the bathroom floors at Grand Central without trying to say. And everything that happens in Long Island Railroad, Metro North. Remember the guy had a tunnel? They had a man's cave in one of the tunnels? How did that trickle down to us? And it always trickles down to us. Because they have no respect for us. And there's no coincidence. Why? Why? I don't think it is. Yeah, some of it black play a part in it. I think the social class play a part of it. That we at MTA are just working class who should do what they're told. We're here to service. We're here in the service of people who live in Long Island and upstate and on the Upper East Side. I'm talking about the board members. They determine our fate. They decide what we should do and what we shouldn't do. Who comes up with these GOs? And then when we late, they try to charge us? How the hell can some of us get to work on the weekend with these crazy ass GOs? Sometimes you got to connect from the B to the A division. There was some times I was doing plat. What they gave us, there was no reasonable way for any passenger to get to where they was going with these GOs. But they don't care. They don't care about them GOs for us putting up. Them GOs put us in danger at times. They don't care about that. They don't care how the supplements disrupt our lives. Look what's going on with the M line. They don't care about that. They don't give us no heads up. 2 weeks before anything happened, this line's going to be closed down for a month or two. Get used to it. We don't give a damn where you go, what end of the earth we send you to. I don't think this is a coincidence. But we have a union. It's been like that. We have robber barons. It's been like that since the beginning of time. But where's our union? Where's our union? And it was a good term. Where's the checks and balances? They checking their balances and cashing checks. That's what this union's doing. That's the problem here. None of us feel protected. Like Drummond, why you always say me hitting the union? Everybody's hitting the union. Everybody. It used to be, Trammell. Now, Trammell always hitting the union doing. Everybody feel that way now. The proof is in the pudding. We just understand that you got folks up there working a third of the hours we work. Making 5 times what we make. 3 times, 4 times, 5 times what we make in some cases. Minimum 3 times what we make. And they're making decisions about our lives. And brothers and sisters, real quick, they say it's an uptick in COVID. Like a lot of people getting sick. Transit ain't talking about that. A lot of folks are getting sick. In that 5 days, you should get healthy. Make sure your health is good. We know how they feel about us. They showed us. They showed that. You think there wasn't discussions? How much should we give them? Maybe Canelo's incident affected how much they was going to give us. Maybe it was $5,000. Maybe it was $7,000. But they said, how much money should we give these peasants? Oh, a few grand. They'd be happy with that. They're going to be happy with that. Trust me. They always think, and I always use this as example. I know it's an analogy, but during the COVID, people would say, Drummond, I'm not taking, and I told them, I'm not taking that, I'm not getting the vaccine. And I said, you shouldn't. And sure enough, they get, what was it, $100? You got the vaccine for $100. You took the vaccine. Then they said with the spit, you had to spit. I didn't do it. And I told everybody not to do it on principle. And we didn't have to do it. They was going to make all of us do it. And that's the thing. When things said they're going to send all of us to 2 Broadway. And if they do, so be it. There's some things we're going to have to be united on. We have to. And I understand. You know what's crazy? I could dig it. Trust me, I do. Some of us think nothing's wrong here. Some of us think that everybody that speak up is just a big mouth. Like, why don't you just leave it alone? Booker T. Washington was like that. Just do your job and everything will work. We do our job and everything doesn't work out. They don't let us do our job. They think, and they don't have no respect for us. Their lives are more important at 2 Broadway and 180. That's a fact. Everything they do, the dual employment, us not getting the days off that we deserve. How hard it is to get FMLA fighting us when we go out on comp, when we're assaulted on their property, when we get hurt in yards or on platforms, in barns, or on our trains. You know, and I guarantee you that somebody fall down the steps at 130, at 180, at Lister Street, the bosses at least, they just getting flowers. They just getting flowers. You think they come back to work in 3 days when somebody passes? So, we are nothing to them but working class folks who they don't care, they implement policies, and they're saying, be thankful you have a job. And let me say this to all Yahuwah, thank God, Jehovah, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for putting you in the position. But you took that test. You passed school call. You completed your probation. You did it with your heart, your will, your dedication. You owe this company nothing but your professionalism. So some of y'all are a little too thankful to Emma. You should be thanking the Lord. And you should be patting yourselves on the back. You should be proud of what you was able to come, where you came from in your life. Got people who was in the web program on welfare, are TSSs and superintendents now. You had people who was in prison and thought they'd never see the light of the day. That this was it for them. They was ex-cons and they never was going to find out a way to feed themselves and their family. You did that. Transit didn't do that for you. But they want you to think you do. They showed us that they don't respect and care about that, about us, with that $3,000, with that $4,000. That was it. That should have been icing on the cake for you. And let me say this too. We have no HR here. This company, this god-awful company that everybody seems to be so thankful to, we have no HR here. HR here for intake, when you leaving, and for probationaries. There's nowhere to go that you can say, I have a problem with this supervisor. It's every job. It has an HR that investigates accusation. And the EEO here we have no EEO. We have no EEO. So no HR, no EEO. Where's the mechanism to punish supervisor. And General Superintendent Tawala. And let me tell you about him. When I was at 2 Broadway, you had some supervisors who would write the discipline and then come down to 2 Broadway and lobby the officers to stick it to them. You have supervisors sometime and come to 2 Broadway and kind of rescind the discipline and say, listen, he's a good, he or she been here for a long time. They dedicated. I think it was an accident. I think nobody was hurt, no harm, no foul. Like, my suggestion is I think maybe a reinstruction or a reprimand would be in order. And the officers take that into consideration or respect it outright. But you also got supervisors who come to labor relations, come to 2 Broadway. What's this other name? This other General Soup that will make sure that labor relations come at you with extreme prejudice. And General Superintendent Tawala, he's at Parsons sometimes. I saw him like 6 months ago. He's standing there like this. I'm saying, you can't say good morning? Dude ain't say nothing. He's a General Superintendent. Anywhere you go. I've been around millionaires. I've been around multi-millionaires. And they cordial. Byfoot was on occasion, 1 or 2 times I rode the train when I had discussion. I remember I was at the board. I spoke to him in depth. Somebody who was against discipline. He was management. But he had respect for us. He was somebody that put out an email, said this discipline must stop. He had some humanity. And that's where you know that once he was gone, it's over. They went to Boston to get Davy for a reason. And there's things that's going on that he's implementing, that he's doing right now. So this place don't care about humanity. That's why the good supervisors don't get promoted. That's why somebody like Tawala, who was a General Soup, when I was 2 Broadway, hiding behind the pillar, a General Superintendent, and ranked somebody up because they was wiping their goggles and said they didn't have their PPEs. Of course, it got thrown out. Because it shouldn't have came to 2 Broadway anyway. But how's he a General Superintendent? This guy lives for disciplining folks. And now he has discipline right now that I put forth. He's not looking at. He's not addressing. And that's what's going on. They try to ignore it. When you write up, and we got to keep writing up because we got to take these G2s somewhere else. We don't have a union and we don't have management that holds anybody accountable. And they got people like Tawala who does nothing when he finds out that his dispatchers has violated our rights and disrespected one of our brothers and sisters. So we got supervisors, we got an HR that's non-existent. We got EEO that's doing nothing. And we work for a company and who sends out Davy, who sends out these emails like everything is great. Like we got this great environment of professionalism and respect. We're professional. But let them, listen, change is coming. And you supervisors, you heathens. I remember one day I was talking to a brother. I was telling him about this superintendent. He said, what? They go to my church. So what I'm saying to you, there's a lot of Christians out here, so-called Christians who say they're Christian, men and women who claim that they are accepted Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, and men and women of God, and actively are part of what's going on here and allowed to go on. It reminds me of these folks. I wrote this down because this is what reminds me of. Like in Harlem, right? My mother grew up in Harlem. Harlem is so gentrified now. People can't afford, folks just can't afford to live there. $5, $6, $7 million apartments there now. Last week I was saying what they want for a studio. If I remember, it's that Harlem Queens. But And you know how I got like that? Everybody talk about gentrification, but you know how I got like that? Them black churches? Them black churches sold all that property to these developers. People going to church, tithing they 10%. Some folks giving everything they had to their pastors and their priests and their reverends. And these pastors and these priests and these reverends sold out their communities. These churches own 20% of Harlem. A good portion of Harlem. I'm wiggling on that percentage. Them buildings, they give these churches a little office somewhere or some little space for them. And their parishioners can't even afford to live there. And God has something for you people who pretend to be Christians. There's atheists that are kind to the folks and more loving than these agnostics, than some of these so-called Christians. And we got these Christians, these so-called Christians, men and women of God, in positions of power at transit, and watch this wickedness and part of this wickedness. And watch us be disrespected and tormented down here. So like you want to control. When you say we can't have dual employment, you know what that's saying? They want to control our lives. If you want something to do in your spare time and you want something to do when you ain't on your pick job or you're not reporting to your location, do some overtime for us. How dare you want a life, you peasant? How dare you? We supposed to at 130, 180, and 2 Broadway, we're going to have lives. And the Richie Davises of the world. And these officers can't work. Let me tell you something. I stayed. If you don't want to be around me, yes. Catholic Church, yes. Religions were responsible for wars. Because they decided who was human and who wasn't. Protestants fighting Catholic in the name of God. And the leaders of these churches making decisions for us. So religion, there's religion and there's God, Jehovah, and Jesus Christ. And people have manipulated our faith and our obedience for their gain. So those folks at transit in positions of power, here's a verse for you. Micah 6:8. He has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly and to have love and mercy and walk humbly with your God. You're not doing that. That's Micah 6:8. And this is not Matthew 15:8 and 9. I was going to, on Sunday, I was going to read from read some passages. Matthew 15:8, 9. These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are merely human rules, transit rules. These fake Christians, I know what God gonna do. You're the worst. You're the worst. Go to church on Sunday dressed up, saying hi to everybody, putting a little something in the box, as if Jehovah and Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, gonna absolve you for the witness you do Monday through Friday. Yes, and these fake liberals too. Yes, of course. Is the union holding Adams to account? Adams is doing such a great job, the union have nothing to say about Adams? This crime-ridden city? We put our life at risk every day. Allow brothers and sisters, all of us have our head on the swivel. Some of us is living fear. You come to work and have that knot. Not only a knot in your stomach for these criminals and these mentally ills, a knot in your stomach from whatever sick, perverse supervisor, sadistic supervisor you might have to deal with. And Tawala, you're one of them. General Soup, you're one of them. And let me say this. To our brothers and sisters, my battery going dead. My brothers and sisters in the RTO stations, CD, Surface, Matt Stower, private lines, MOW, MPA Bus, Surface, who really are doing God's work and living the life, your lives, in accordance to the word, and are stewards and living the life like our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ as close as best we can, who trying to be obedient. And when you say obedient and living with the word, by the word, is just love. All Jehovah is love. All our Lord and Savior is love. That's all it is love. The Bible is love. The words, I know the Bible's open to interpretation, but what the Bible means is love. Jehovah's love. Jesus Christ gave his life for us because he loved us. God gave his only begotten son because he loved us. And those who try to walk in the light, this is for you. Do not, and who are with these supervisors, who are, you're holding your head and you're trying to do the right thing. You're giving Caesar's things to Caesar. You're working hard. You're paying your taxes. You're trying to raise your families. You're trying to do the right thing. Be obedient. This is for you. This is Romans 12, verse 19 to 21. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, it's mine to avenge. I will repay, says the Lord. On the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Everybody be safe and take care.